Presenting today. As Kate said, this is our webinar on Geospatial Analytics using BusinessObjects. It's the second in a series of 5 webinars we'll be doing on the topics of advanced analytics and mobility solutions from SAP over the summer, and we're very, very excited about this. If we do anything today, there's 4 things that I'd like you to take away from the webinar. The first thing would be why Geospatial Analytics? What is it? How can it be applied? What's the value to your business? The second would be understanding some of the advanced capabilities that BusinessObjects offers and looking at a real-life demo, a real-life implementation example of where we've deployed Geospatial Analytics. The third thing would be understanding the implications of SAP HANA and some of the capabilities that SAP HANA allows us to take and apply to Geospatial Analytics. Things like real-time reporting, real-time dashboarding. And finally, what's the approach to implementation? How do you get started on this? How hard is it? So what I'm going to do today, first give you a very high-level overview of our organization. And my name is Rob Jerome, and I manage our business intelligence practice. Cameron, you can advance the slide, please. And to the next one, please. What I'd like to do first is just give you a general overview of Dickinson & Associates. So we are an SAP Gold Channel partner. We've been in business for 16 years. Global organization. We've implemented SAP in the United States, in Canada, in Europe, and Asia. We've got about 140 consultants. We're about a $40 million organization. Our headquarters is in Chicago, and we are, in some ways, primarily a Midwest-based company. But we've got offices in New York, Scottsdale, and Cincinnati. The key differentiator of Dickinson & Associates is a lot of us, most of us, have a very strong business background, and we've kind of flipped over to the consulting side, so we're business people who know SAP. Most of us come from non-traditional consulting backgrounds, worked on the other side of the fence, if you will, and then became consultants. Next slide, please. This slide denotes some of our partnerships that we're very proud of. All we do is SAP. As I said earlier, we are a Gold Channel partner, a services partner, all-in-one certified solutions, RDS certified. We're a business objects reseller and partner, Sybase, as well as SuccessFactors. So we share a very strong relationship with SAP. These are partnerships that we earned over the years, and we're very, very proud to have. We're a reseller of the software and also of support. Next slide. Okay. Very high level, if you follow our wheel of services clockwise, professional staffing, that's an area where we actually started. But we've moved on to SAP strategy, full project implementations, not just in the areas of business analytics and mobility, but also core ERP. Optimization services, meaning post-implementation optimization, upgrades, whether it be analytics, ERP, CRM, whatever the SAP offering may be. And finally, application support. We've got a dedicated application support center in Chicago, and we have another one in Cincinnati. So we do remote support activities. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to join today. Without further delay, I will hand it over to Cameron Spath. Cameron is one of our BusinessObjects consultants who specializes in geospatial dashboarding. So he will run the webinar from here. As Kate said, if there's questions, please submit them, and we'll be reviewing those at the end. And enjoy the webinar.
Thank you, Rob and Kate, for all who have joined. My name is Cameron, and I am a BI consultant here at Dickinson & Associates. And what we are going to do today is talk about geography data and how your business can use it to make better business decisions. We will start with a presentation introducing Geospatial Analytics, have an overview of current solutions of Geospatial Analytics, and we'll follow with a few use cases and a couple of demos, and of course, ending with questions and answers. You should walk away from this presentation with an understanding of what Geospatial Analytics is and the benefits it can bring. You will have the knowledge of how geospatial data can be used with SAP data and the value behind it, and be able to comprehend real-life applications of geospatial technology and how it's used today. Did you know that 80% of all data has a location element, but yet most organizations do not have anything implemented that would capture these location elements in their data or be able to analyze based on location? Before I introduce Geospatial Analytics, I want to first explain what location elements are and how often we use them every day. Location elements are anything that can be described by asking yourself the question, where is it, or just where is it? On a phone call, we may ask our kids, where are you? Where do I pick you up? Or when driving to a store, where is that store? These are examples of location elements such as an address, latitude, or longitude. An example of a region or area of a location element would be questions that you ask every day. Where are you flying to? California. Or where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Or maybe we lose our keys. Where are my keys? Maybe it's within a house or within a building. This is an example of a placement inside a building. So the question I have today is, if we're using location elements every day in our personal life, why isn't our business using it? The reason why companies do not use these location elements is because most organizations struggle using this data either because they don't know how to use it to make business decisions, or the lack of knowledge of the solutions that can be implemented in order to bring geography to the business. How do we make that happen? And how do I bring geography into my decision making? So we know what location elements are, anything that can answer the where question, but what really is geospatial analytics? Geospatial analytics, or location analytics, or even also known as location intelligence, is a combination of GIS, or Geographical Information Systems, and business intelligence, or simply the combination of business data with location elements. So we may ask ourselves, isn't geospatial analytics the same as GIS? Actually, it's not. Because of the integration of business intelligence into GIS, it is now possible to visualize dynamic data on the map. Dynamic data meaning the data changes automatically on a day-to-day basis, or hour by hour, or even up to the minute, and can be further refined by filtering, either by GIS spatial filtering, by selecting an area on the map, or by zooming in and out, or by what we're used to seeing with filtering and drilling down on BI data. With GIS and business intelligence, we now can do all this in one solution. How can geospatial analytics benefit your organization? First and foremost, empower the business users. Give the power to your business users to drive the next generation business intelligence tools. Using geospatial analytics empowers the user to get creative when drawing relationships between data and the where factor. By analyzing the sales performance and identifying the underperforming regions, you can enhance your marketing campaigns. Visually see where the locations or facilities are not doing well, and create a target area to either be used for marketing, sales, or maybe even for reviewing. Identify potential markets by monitoring regions that have not yet been reached by your product line. Understand the best rate of return for each region and how changing your pricing strategy can increase the profitability of your organization. Enhance your data visualization. A powerful geospatial solution presents the opportunity for an enterprise to model complex sets of information in a graphical interface. Visually represent your information to make it more understandable and actionable for your users. Complement predictive analysis. By analyzing the spread of information across a map over time, trends can be deciphered and can be used to predict in many different ways. By using geospatial analytics, it can guide your company to better decision making and can uncover any trends and patterns that could not be found by just analyzing data sets. Knowing that the true benefits of geospatial analytics are defined within your organizations and are based on the data that is being analyzed. This information helps you answer business questions that may not have been answered otherwise. Geospatial analytics can be used throughout your business to answer many different business questions. Questions like sales, marketing, logistics, telemetrics such as fleet tracking, awareness, marketing segmentation, risk assessments, and locations of facilities. Using geospatial analytics makes it easy for business to locate shipments to customers, locate STOs or internal shipments, locate largest inventory, and display largest competitors. There's so many ways that this location data can make decisions about the ways to improve your timely shipments, coverage over entire map, operations, and other location-based initiatives. Geospatial analytics can be applied to many different areas within your business. So who should take advantage of this geospatial analytics solution? Geospatial analytics solutions can be integrated into all facets of your company, especially marketing, sales, distribution, and logistics. Your experts in marketing and sales management, sales operations, finance, store operations, and store managers will benefit from geospatial analytics solutions to solve complex location-dependent business problems. So we talked about location elements and how they answer the where question, but how does that apply to our business? Listed here are the few questions that can be used to geospatially answer business questions. So let me just read 5 of them. Where are my shipments? Where should my inventory be? Or maybe where should I put the next warehouse distribution center? Where is the most on-order data? Where is the highest risk? Now I'll let you read some of the other questions. So all these where questions on this slide can be answered with an effective dashboard and can be implemented into your business. Here are the standard 5 W's. All items can be answered by location. For example, who is my customer? What is the mode of delivery? Where is my salesperson or delivery truck? When will the delivery get here? Why is there a delay? And how can I change behavior? So let's be sure we have a clear understanding of what each segment in this diagram represents. Business data, that's going to be more of your reports, your rows and columns of data, your BI data. Your GIS, that's going to be more of your points, your heat maps, your routes, latitude and longitude, your location elements. Visualization, it's going to be tools such as dashboards or Excelsius, maybe Webby or Explorer. SAP HANA, that's going to be when your time comes in, your speed, and you make everything real time. This is where the opportunity is. So let's talk about opportunity. So I talked about geospatial analytics and how it brings an organization opportunity. But a great opportunity comes when you combine multiple tools together. We know that geospatial analytics brings visualization so that you can see the information in dashboard view. But what happens when you bring SAP HANA into the picture? SAP HANA can bring immediate visibility of the whole picture, can enhance precision and accuracy, can show real-time geospatial analytics, can visual what-if capabilities, and can enhance your visual analysis. So what does that all mean? What's the use case? What's the use case with SAP HANA and geospatial analytics? Well, SAP HANA can take this data and make it real time, can track performance. Think about the value of tracking performance. Imagine a device in every vehicle or even a mobile app for every driver. I could have a device or an app that could track speed, performance, and location. Then I could use this data to predict when shipments will arrive, or maybe when a repairman will arrive at your house. I could send notifications to the customer or facility letting them know when the shipment will arrive or when the person will arrive, maybe 5 or 10 minutes out. Maybe that could go to their cell phone. What happens when a truck breaks down or a delay on the railroad? How do you see that? I could create alerts to notify me in these situations. It could show up on a geospatial dashboard. It could show up on a map. I could then see the next closest repairman or shipment that could be redirected to meet that customer's need. So what about the customers? Usually when we talk about reporting tools and customers, that's all there is. It's reports to customers. Yes, we can send customer reports based on what they ordered or reports on when they picked up their shipments. But what can we do more for the customers? What if we were able to create a custom login into a dashboard that will only show their shipments and where they're going and when they're going to get there? What if we can track their shipments for just them so they can log in and see their stuff? So what's the solutions? Well, here I have 2 listed solutions, GALAGEO and Syntagon Solutions. Their solution is CMaps. And there's other solutions out there, but I want to focus on these 2 as they're some of the largest ones. I'm going to try not to go into details about each one of them, nor compare them. So GALAGEO and Syntagon Solutions, they both support dashboards or Excelsius, Webby, and mobile BI. To me, GALAGEO's approach comes more from the GIS integrated into BI perspective, while CMaps approach comes more from the BI integrated with the GIS. And you can see that in the demo that follows. Okay, now we can get into the demo. All right, you should now see my GALAGEO dashboard. So as you can see here, we want to see what location elements are shown. Well, there's areas and there's regions. So that's the location elements that this dashboard is focused on. The tool is not limited on this location element, but this is just for this dashboard. So as you can see, you can roll over these regions or areas, and you can see more details about it. Okay. I can also select multiple regions. So say, for instance, I want to select the southeast of states, and the details come down below. And as you can see, the chart goes up and everything. So let's talk about more of the GIS filtering, as what I mentioned before, versus the BI filtering. The GIS spatial filtering is when you actually use the map to do your filtering. So here, I can drill down. I can drill down to the southeast states. Give me 1 second. Or I can drill down to Georgia, for instance, for a region. Here you can see these are also summed up by their regions too. You can drill up and down. This is the GIS spatial filtering. Or you can zoom in and out. Okay. The more of the BI filtering is going to be provided on the dashboard view, which is over here to the left. And you can filter the data. Now this is, as you can tell, this is filtering the data, the actual BI data. Okay. I'm going to switch over to CMaps, or the tool that Syntagon Solutions provides. Okay, this is the dashboard I built. As you can see, the current selected option is distribution centers. So these are going to be all my plants, my terminals, my warehouses. Okay, so what is this showing? You see a lot of colors, you see alerts, you see down at the bottom there's percentages. You see to the left there's your filters. But what is this showing? What's the alert showing? Well, the alerts are based upon the max. So what I've done is I've gotten data from the past so many years, and I've gotten the max number of shipments, or tons, number of tons, ever shipped out from that location. And then I compare it to what today is being shipped out. So as you can see, Kansas City is operating above 110%. What does that mean? Well, that means if you roll over, it says that it's operating at 208% of the max. That means it's doing double what is ever done in the history of this data. So how could a company use this to make decisions? Well, first we need to make sure that the data is consistent. Is this just one day, or is this every day? So I have it just for this week. Okay, I roll over each one. 98% of the max. So what does max really tell you? Does it tell you how much shipments are going out, like how fast it's going out, or does it tell you the capacity? Well, as far as this goes, as truck shipments go, you have a certain amount of time to fill up a truck. And you can only fill up so many trucks per hour, right? So you know that this facility is working all the time, every day, 70% of max. And again, 115%, 114%. So what can a business do here? When they see a plant or a terminal, in this case, Kansas City Terminal, how can they help them out? Well, maybe they can send shipments from here. Or maybe they need another place here. Maybe they need another terminal or a warehouse. Or maybe they need to expand it, hire more people. Okay. What else can you see? You can see that the rollover has the materials breakdowns by times and by how many shipments. Also, what else you can tell in this map is if I go through each day, I can tell what the lowest facility is doing, and I can ask myself, the question is, why isn't that plant doing so well? How can I make them better? How can I make them operate more? How can I make them send out more tons? What is their problem? Here's one plant that's at 8%. I could drill down to that, and then I could find out maybe that plant is under construction, or maybe they just had a massive layout. I could ask my sales team what's going on, and why isn't that focused? And how can we improve that? Let's go on to deliveries. So here we see a lot of data all at once. And that's when our filtering comes in place. We can easily filter down here. Here's when we can make our business decisions. Where is this shipping from, and where is this going to? Here's an example. Here's this shipment coming all the way from Kansas City. Can this not be shipped from somewhere closer? What's the regions? As you can tell over here, these are the selectors, but also the truck shipments are the cubes, the rails are that, and barges are the triangles. Again, this is Syntagon Solutions, and this is CMaps. Just going to show you some of the functionality. Okay, so these are all the places that's being delivered. Another thing you can do is you can do the spatial or the GIS, what I call the GIS filtering. You can select it, select different shipments. Now I don't have it integrated right now, but I can easily select this. And all these shipments within this circle or this shape can go into a table, and you can see what shipments are there in a table form. Okay. So how can a business use these two tabs together to make business decisions? Okay. In transit, these are the shipments that's going from one facility to another. What's being moved from one facility to another, and how can I improve that? As you can see, there's no truck here. These are also selectors. I can take them off. I'm going to show just barges. So on order. So here's the one I like the best. What's my on order data? Where is it? And why hasn't it been shipped? Okay. We're going to use a material called Ross Care. We're going to notice that here in this plant, there's no inventory for this product. But there's on order for 1,200 tons. How can we get to this plant, 1,200 tons, the fastest way possible? So what we use is we use the inventory tab, and we can see where Ross Care is. We noted that here, that's 4,000 tons. Also, up here, has 11,000 tons. So we can switch between the tabs, and we can see how can we get here the fastest. We can see the on order for this plant is 500 tons out of 4,200. So that can easily be shipped down to make that on order data. But how can the rest be supplied? And why is there so many on order versus inventory? Let's look at inventory. We see here that inventory right now is at 40,000 tons of Ross Care. As you can see on this heat map, the highest is 11,000 tons, all right here. Why is it there, and why is it not throughout the United States? Then we can go back to in transit, and we can focus down on Ross Care. And we can show where Ross Care is moving to. And is it moving to any facility that needs it for the on-order data, for the on-order shipments? Okay. Another thing we can do is say, okay, let's look at inventory. Let's see where we are, and then let's compare on order. But instead of just doing it on maps, let's get into more of the BI. And let's go into the charts or tables. So here's on order in the chart. Currently, you can see that the on order data is all represented in the chart. So for this product, we have 18,000 tons on order. Down here, the inventory is 236,000 tons. So we're good. We have the materials, but we don't have the placement. So how can we have the placement? How can we get it that fast? Okay. Another question to ask is, product number 15812 is at 380,000 tons, but yet the on order is only 3,300. Why do we have so much in inventory? Why are we paying for that warehousing or the terminals to store that when we don't have that much on order? What is going on? Is it sales? Is it weather driven, the product weather driven? What's the holdup? Why is this not selling good? And why is our inventory way up high? Should we be more focused on another product? Also added a table that shows the top 10 companies. So here you can see what the top 10 companies are, and you see what they're doing. And then later on, I will add a drill down, and this will go down to a detailed report of each company and what they're buying. So some other things you can do. What else can you do with these dashboards? Okay. So what I've done before is I've done Timelapse. And what that does is it can show the shipments over time every 4 seconds. So instead of clicking through the days on the filter menu, you can actually see a time lapse from day to day on a heat map to see where your shipments are moving to or from. What is the material? What is the product? Is it driven by weather? Is it farming? Is it something for farming or what is it for? So by seeing a time lapse, what can we do? And I know it's not represented here on this dashboard, but we can see where the shipments are going, where the shipments or on order data is going to, and how we can jump ahead and send stuff and ahead of time to know because of the area of where all the shipments are being ordered or the products are being ordered. What else can we do with dashboards and geospatial dashboards? Well, as I stated before, maybe we want a location device on a truck or a rail car or a barge. We can see that location. We can see that exact location of where that shipment is and how soon it will reach that facility or how soon it will reach that customer. I could create a login, as stated before, and have the customer log in and see where their shipment is. I could roll over. I could have a heat map or some kind of map that alert me that says, hey, look, this shipment, this truck is broken down. So this rail car is going to run 3 days later. I could then, on the Deliveries tab, I could add a selector that says the destinations. And I could select the companies that are ordering it and filter down to those companies. Where are they ordering to? And how can we promote that? How can we promote those companies? Hey, instead of sending 4 truck shipments, let me send you a rail car to that location. I can give you a discount if you buy 10,000 tons instead of 9,000 tons. Because all your shipments are located in one area. Now we're going to switch back to the presentation. So how can this apply to your business? The ability to visualize the answer to the common question, where? It can enhance your transportation and logistics planning. Where's your shipments? Where's your drivers? You can understand markets and competitors. Where are my competitors located? Where should my next placement of a plant or facility go? Marketing and sales segmentation. Where are my customers? For the volume. Risk management, or management of assets. Where is my inventory? Where should it be going? Risk management. Maybe you're an insurance company. Where is the highest risk? Do I need to increase the insurance over there? Are there rivers nearby? Hurricanes? What happens if a hurricane comes? Can we predict where the hurricane's going to come? Can we ship there and supply our inventory before and be prepared for when a hurricane comes to supply those people that will be in need? Or maybe the roads that will be road blocked off. How can we avoid those situations? So before I turn it over to Rob, I have a few questions for you. What are you doing to drive geospatial and business data together? What challenges are you having? What data is your management team requesting where location data would be beneficial? Now I will hand it back to Rob for summarization and conclusion.
Thanks, Cameron. I'm glad that we went through all those use cases. I think the one thing I would like everybody to take away is just the art of the possible. And just a few notes on what Cameron showed today, because I'd like to clarify the technology a little bit. So Cameron was showing BusinessObjects BI 4.1 and to develop the dashboards. Now on the back end, we've actually deployed this for one of our customers, and it's actually a SQL database. And what I want to emphasize is we can do this type of development. We can do this type of dashboarding. We can leverage geospatial analytics independent really of what the back end is. The advantage when you get into using SAP HANA as a source is really the real-time data. And earlier Cameron mentioned telematics, and that's an area where we have a specific interest. We're working with our customers to take telematics type data from fleet and put it on a real-time dashboard so we can track things like how are drivers performing, how are trucks performing, are customers getting their deliveries on time. So one thing I just want to emphasize is that we can build this technology, build these dashboards using BusinessObjects BI Suite, and then we can put it on top of any database that we can connect to. So I just want to clarify the technologies. And then I'd just like to talk a little bit about how Dickinson and Associates can support these types of initiatives. Cameron, you can go to the next slide. So at a very high level, if we talk about technologies for a moment and what's involved here, SAP has many analytical offerings. When I first started working with SAP, I think there were about 5 things on the price list. Now there's about 5,000. But all joking aside, what we really were focusing on with this type of webinar are the data warehousing solutions under database and technology on the left side of the screen, as well as analytics and mobility over to the right side on the screen. So when you're dealing with geospatial, you have 2 primary considerations. What's my database technology? As I mentioned earlier, could it be SQL? Could it be HANA? Could it be Sybase? And what is my front end? What front end am I using to display the geospatial data? In our case, it would be SAP BusinessObjects BI Suite. So that's a general overview as to kind of the services that we provide. One of the hardest parts of getting started is building a strategy towards deploying your BusinessObjects software. And I think that's probably the first start for any large or even medium-sized organization trying to deploy these type of functionality. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Kate Decker so that she can review some of the questions that we've gotten during the webinar here. Cameron will answer the questions, and then we'll sum it up and move on.
All right, we have just a couple of questions. The first one is, do geospatial dashboards require SAP HANA, or can I build the dashboard on top of location-specific data independent to the underlying database?
Well, a geospatial dashboard can sit on top of any database, so SAP HANA is not required. But with that said, the advantages of HANA are significant as real-time data integration between SAP HANA and the BI 4.1 suite adds significant capabilities to the solution.
Okay, and another question we received is, what is the typical development time required for dashboards like the one shown today?
As with most things, the devil is in the details. The dashboard development does not take significant time, weeks, not months. The challenge is typically in determining reliable sources of data with acceptable latency. Just like a dashboard, a geospatial dashboard is one as good as the underlying data.
Okay, and is all of the functionality that was shown today mobile compatible?
Yes, all the functionality that was shown today is mobile capability compatible.
All right, and last one is, we are on BI version 3.1. Do I need to upgrade to take advantage of this capability?
The answer here is yes and no. You do not need to upgrade in order to have geospatial capabilities, but when upgrading to business objects, the new features come with the tools. Some of these features are able to publish your dashboards to mobile or getting your current location on the geospatial map. And so much more of these capabilities are added with the upgrade. So although, no, you do not need the upgrade, more options come in the newer edition of Business Objects.
All right, thank you, Cameron. We're going to hand it back over to Rob for just a moment to wrap up.
Thanks, Kate. I'd just like to thank everybody one more time for joining. I encourage everybody to join our next webinar, which will be held on July 8th, which is going to be, the topic will be building custom apps on SAP HANA. So Tim Korba, one of our senior architects, will be presenting on that. Again, thank you everybody for your time today. We're going to give you back 15 minutes of your day on this Tuesday after a holiday weekend. But I thank everybody for joining, and join us next time.